The VIP Crew with Vivek Wallace and Big P. Percy Crawford.
The VIP Crew.
I don't know, man. I just, it's weird for me that Floyd made the announcement that he's coming back to break more records. It doesn't sound like exhibition talk to me. So I don't know what made him think or led him to believe that somehow this turned into an exhibition. Obviously, the statement from Team Pacquiao said they're not interested in the exhibition. Doesn't sound like Netflix is interested in the exhibition. So at this point, the only person who seems interested in the exhibition is Floyd Mayweather. And even if you kind of let it matriculate down to the fans, even the fans aren't interested in the exhibition. Halfway in, halfway out, interested on the Mayweather Pacquiao 2 real fight. So you put the the verbiage exhibition on it, and it's not a good reception. So I don't know what changed. Even him saying that the spear is just one place that's being looked at, and Team Pacquiao saying absolutely 100% is at the spear. Sounds like a lot of weird shit going on. I don't know who's telling Floyd what. I don't know who's telling Team Pacquiao what, but they're definitely not on the same page.
The thing is, we know Floyd is, he can be really creative when it comes to creating buzz for a fight and that type of thing. But we know that there was the issue recently with the lawsuit. So money is obviously in the back of his mind more so now than perhaps before. But I mean, do you think that this could be some type of, weird promotional strategy or ploy for him to get buzz going? Do you think that could be a part of what we're looking at here?
The only reason I say no, because maybe Prom Floyd could get away with that, but this era is different, man. The minute you turn fans off, they're turned off. So and sometimes you can't even get them back. So I don't think he misspoke. I think maybe he is under the impression that it is an exhibition. I don't know how he derived that to that point, but I don't. If he's using this as promotion, the times have definitely passed him by, because it don't work like that anymore. You don't dupe the fans, so to speak. If we're looking for a real fight, and BoxRec has this thing as a real 12-round fight, and then you come out and say it's an exhibition to try to promote it, I think it hurts it, honestly. I mean, because when you go back to say it's a real fight, or if they change it to exhibition, to me the property is damaged. So if it's promotion, the times have passed them by, and unfortunately you don't get that crowd back.
About a week and a half ago, when they started talking about the contract possibly being breached, I mean, he's not with Leonard Ellerbe, he's not with Al Heyman. A lot of the people that used to handle the front end stuff for Floyd, where he only had to focus on fights, a lot of those guys are not really in Team Mayweather at this point. I guess I shouldn't ask the way I want to ask. I don't want it to turn messy or be viewed as messy, but let me just ask you this way. Who have you heard, if anybody, is handling this type of thing for Floyd? And if you haven't heard of anyone, how do you think he handled this whole process with the contract? Do you think this is Floyd and his interpretation trying to read a contract? What are you hearing from that standpoint?
I know how you want to ask it. You wanted to say, is the rumor that Floyd Mayweather can't read real or not?
Well,
you remove some of the people who you named, Leonard Ellerbe, Al Heyman, those guys, Steven Espinosa, obviously the machine that is Showtime. And we're starting to see a lot of weird movement in terms of the way Floyd is determining things to be, as opposed to either reality or the way he's determined them is what it is. That's speculation. I don't know anything about that. What I will say is this. It seems like to me Floyd is getting some bad advice throughout, from the Showtime lawsuit, from the buildings in Manhattan. I don't even particularly think this Mike Tyson thing in Congo is going to happen. Maybe the kickboxer in Greece happens, but it just seems like, and I hate this for him if this is the truth, it seems like he's in somewhat of a desperate situation, and when you're desperate, you'll listen to anybody that's talking money. And it seems like people are throwing shit on the wall and hoping at some point some of it sticks. And unfortunately for Floyd, if he's in the position that some assume that he's in, then it turns into, okay, make it happen, as opposed to logically saying that don't sound right. Make it happen. Fight Mike Tyson in Congo. Okay, how much? Make it happen. If he's in that position, it's unfortunate.
Let's take this back a little bit. We think about Mayweather's career. We think about the type of money he's made over the years. You're looking at, and he's quick to point this out, you're looking at the highest earning, highest grossing athlete that's ever been part of the sport of any era. And when we look at what's happening now, I mean, I'll share my thoughts, but I want to get yours first. Talk a little bit about what you think about the fact that he's even in this situation where he has to fight for money at 50, practically. Very close.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I mean, it sucks. Floyd Mayweather went from a guy that was kind of prided himself on, I only got to fight once a year and make what all these guys make in one fight. Now, past his prime at damn near 50, he's got 3 scheduled fights. Floyd hadn't fought 3 times in one calendar year, and goodness, 15 years, who knows how long it's been. And I understand 2 of them are exhibitions, but they're still getting the body ready to go do physical combat. So even if 2 of the 3 are exhibitions, or if 3 of the 3 is exhibitions, that's still, Floyd hadn't fought 3 times in a calendar year in forever. So it sucks that he would have to come back and be under that kind of rigorous schedule, but it seems to be where he's at. Unfortunately, I know some will say nobody's fault but his own, but if you have any compassion for anybody, you got to have it for a person that's dedicated his whole life to a sport, became rich beyond his wildest dreams, and now at 50, close to 50, or it might be 50, have to come back and do it. It sucks, man. But what you alluded to earlier is it's like the advance overtakes the logic. So, and usually the money goes into escrow, and it sounds like he took some kind of cash advance. So, when you're in a desperate spot, you need money, and they give you a cash advance, logic goes out the window. You can't even think logically. You start thinking like, well, maybe they think this is an exhibition, because that's what it just sounds like. He's all over the place, man. And I don't see this ending well. I really don't.
What do you think about this logic out there that perhaps he did that and rushed it, and now is having a little bit of buyer's remorse, or kind of backing up a little bit because the realization of potentially losing his O is actually a real thing right now? What do you think about that whole narrative that some are saying out there?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's so much. I know Oscar came out and said he's still running. He's scared to lose his O. I don't even know if it's so much of him being afraid of losing his O. And again, this is just my thoughts, my opinion, speculation. I think Floyd got in the gym, and when it was time to press the gas, he realized maybe it ain't what it used to be. We see Pacquiao footage. Pacquiao's kind of been somewhat active. Pacquiao's still going pretty hard. I don't think Floyd trained full throttle Conor McGregor. I don't think Floyd maybe even didn't train full throttle Andre Berto. We definitely know he didn't train full throttle for those, Gotti fights when he fought John Gotti's grandson. So you're probably talking the last time he had a real camp was Pacquiao. So that's a long, long time ago. Maybe he got in the gym and didn't like what he felt. Or I don't know what made him switch to, this is an exhibition. I do think it probably has something to do with training. And also, it sucks, but they say it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. It almost feels like Pacquiao has the gun this time. Floyd made him bend. You got to subject yourself to urine and, this, that, and the other for the first fight. Now it seems like Pacquiao kind of has the gun, and not just a gun in his hand, a lawsuit ready.
Yeah. Damn, that's a real good point. And yes, there will be legal actions. Even if I was telling someone this offline earlier, even if he took the funds thinking it was an exhibition and now this whole thing's going on, if he is not going to move forward and says, well, look, take the money back, there's still possibility of legal action because it's a signed contract according to Team Pacquiao. But regarding him and the possibility of him getting in the ring and in the gym and realizing maybe it's not what it used to be, I remember a comment that his father said to me, Floyd Sr. This was, I want to say this was going into the Mosley fight. And I remember talking to Floyd Sr. and him saying, like, look, this guy's a dangerous puncher. People don't realize the reason that we do all this pad work and keep him sharp is because it takes a split, not even a full second, a split loss off of your reflexes to get hit and touch with something you were never touched with before. And that even took me back to Alton Murchison, saying in the lead up to the fight with Roy Jones and Antonio Tarver, Alton Murchison, I'll never forget this. He was saying that Roy Jones in that camp had been touched with a couple shots that he wasn't used to seeing him get hit with. And sure enough, they had that fight, and we remember how that turned out.
It sounds like to me Floyd's back is up against the wall a little bit. So not saying anyone can make him fight, but I think through litigation and a powerhouse like Netflix, they're probably going to force his hand to fight. That's going to be weird for me, man. Floyd's always been able to dictate the terms. So for him to be in this position is very strange, especially if he's under the presumption that this is an exhibition and it turns into a real fight. How do you flip that switch? How do you say, okay, now I got to go? Because Pacquiao, even at this stage, isn't a joke. Isn't somebody I didn't think he just walked through him in the first fight. So I think they're going to kind of hold him to the barrel on this one in terms of it being a real fight. If not, Floyd got enough legal shit going on, man. I don't know if he can handle much more. So I think it's almost like they say they finally got him. I think they finally got him. I think boxing finally has Floyd Mayweather in a position where he has to do what they want him to do. And again, where we started this convo, I'll end it. It's unfortunate.
The VIP crew with Vivek Wallace and Big P Percy Crawford.
The VIP crew.
It's a sticky situation. Hopefully it figures itself out. I think this is what you're going to see when you have the power brokers like Netflix and Amazon Prime and these guys coming to boxing. They want what they want, and you can't dictate those terms. And that's where we are now, because there are no more networks in boxing. HBO's gone. Showtime's gone. Hell, when Al had, I think, ABC or one of those guys, ESPN is gone. You're dealing with power brokers. They want what they want, and unfortunately for Floyd Mayweather, well past his prime, he's in a position where he's going to have to give them what they want.